Hey, welcome once again to Rad Repairs. This is episode 5, and today I'm actually going to be taking apart this original PlayStation and trying to repair the faulty disc reading that's going on in this model. Now, my model happens to be the initial North American release model, also known as the SCPH 1001. Now, these units, while having slightly different port configurations on the back than the subsequent models that were released, the reading mechanism that was actually mostly plastic. Now, because of its close approximation to the power, over time the heat from that unit would eventually warp the tray. So even if your laser was reading the discs properly, the disc mechanism might not have been able to move as freely as possible because it was warped, and it would give you another disc read error. If you're experiencing an intermittent issue like that, chances are it's probably warped if you have this particular model of PlayStation. The good news is that while it is hard to find an original replacement drive like this one, you can actually use a later model and edit it. And when I say edit it, I mean actually take off some of the plastic pieces with a Dremel tool, which I have here, and you'll see that it'll actually fit fine with this particular cover replaced on top of it, and then you'll be able to restore your PlayStation with that. And that's what we're going to do. So first thing you want to do, flip it over. You're going to take 5 screws out. I've already done that for the sake of time. Flip it back over, and the top just lifts off. Now here's our drive mechanism. And the nice thing about these originals is really all it does is it just sits on these shock absorbers, and it's only connected by 2 wires. So the first of which is here, and the second which is a ribbon cable right here. To get the ribbon cable out, just kind of get your fingers in there and wiggle it out a little bit. Gently as you can. The ribbon cables, and generally speaking, are pretty fragile, but these are relatively robust. Just be careful. And then pry that cable out, comes out pretty easily, and then the whole mechanism just lifts out. Alright, now this is the model number KSM440ACM. This is the original model that came with these. The good news is, as I mentioned, you can get yourself a model KSM 440AEM, and I'll put up a picture here in a second that shows you that we're going to remove 4 different things from this device to help it match how this one is made, because it was never meant for the 1001 models. We're going to remove these 4 1, 2, 3, and 4 posts to be able to fit it evenly, because you can see as you compare to this one, it doesn't have those posts at all. It has a short one over here. We're going to try to mimic the height of that one when we put it back in. So the first thing you want to do when you're working with these lasers is you want to protect the laser. But we actually need to get this top cover off first, because we're actually going to end up replacing this top cover with the one that comes in the original. So let's just get that off. So there's 2 screws in here. A little bit of painter's tape. We're going to cover up the laser. I'm actually going to try using some snips first and see how much of this plastic I can get off before I have to use my Dremel. As long as the poles you snipped off are shorter than your shock absorbers, that's all that really matters. Because if you look at the original model, it didn't have those. The other portion of this, you see it's only up maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And so we're going to do our best to try to get that 1/4 of an inch to stay on this other one as well. Kind of lining that up there. Basically going to take it just above where the angle changes here. So we're going to go just above that. There we go. See, that's not too bad. That's pretty close to what the original is. So before we can go on, we need to actually get this particular cover off as well, because we're going to use the original cover. Alright, once you've got your screws back in there, time to put our laser assembly back inside of our console. Now we want to make sure that your contacts go the same way. So if you look at the old one, see the contacts go on the outside. We got our cable here. Use a little bit of electrical tape. Alright, so I'm back from testing and it didn't work. Well, why not? Okay, I made a stupid mistake. Let me show you what I did. Because after I fixed it, now it works fine. So this ribbon cable is an issue, and the way it was shipped to me was this cable actually came straight out from this side right here where the sticker is, and it's actually between the lens cover and the plastic body of the entire mechanism. So when I realized that this whole entire unit, to include the ribbon cable, needs to move, well, back and forth, and that this was being pinched in between here, well, that's what was causing the issue. So when you do this repair, make sure that you actually take that ribbon cable, thread it all the way underneath the mechanism here. And I'll take this off to show you. See, there you go. Thread it all the way underneath the mechanism, around that outside pole there. And what that'll do is that'll free up the movement. It'll be able to go back and forth, and you won't have any issues getting caught, and it'll read those discs just fine. So once you've done that, you've got yourself one restored launch edition original PlayStation or PSX. Hey, I hope you liked this video. Share it to your friends and hit that subscribe button for me. I'll see you next time on Rad Repairs.